stuck to the plan. Always said that we would stand up, never ran. We the fam and loyalty never change up. Been down since day one, look at where we came from. Jumping out on anybody who try to say something. One thing about it, got a problem, I got the same one. Money rolls, we fold. Plenty clubs, we close. Follow the same code. Never turn our backs, our cars don't even lose control.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Associated Wrestling Press's College Wrestling Review. I'll be your host today, ESPN broadcaster, Big Ten Network Student U broadcaster, NCAA broadcaster for the 2015 NCAA Championships, Eric Olenowski. And today we have a very exciting guest, and that guest is coming off a 2015 Southern Scuffle Championship at 125 pounds, and that's Alan Waters. Alan, welcome to the College Wrestling Review.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. I see you're all decked out in Mizzou gear, so you live for Mizzou or what?
Yeah, I got most of my clothes are Mizzou stuff, so.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you know this, but my brother actually wrestled at Mizzou in, I want to say 2004. He was their 125-pounder, so following in the footsteps of my older brother, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So now let's jump to the Southern Scuffle, coming off a big win over Nashawn Garrett. He's ranked number 2. You're ranked number 3. What was your mindset going into that match?
I just knew, I'd wrestled him. It was the 4th time I think we'd wrestled. And I knew from the first 2 times it was in my favor, and then I ended up losing it on the 3rd one at Nationals. But I knew I had to go out there and I had to stop his offense and get my offense going. And I knew on the mat that I'd be good on top, and on bottom I'm pretty confident with my mat wrestling. So the more time I spent on the mat, I think gave me a better chance there. And I was looking to go in and just repeat the same thing I did the first 2 times.
Okay, and you mentioned that you guys, that was your 4th time wrestling. You beat him the first 2 times, and then at NCAA's in 2013, in the 3rd and 4th place match, he ended up knocking you off. You taking 4th, he taking 3rd. So that was a great win this weekend for you to avenge your loss. Now you beat him, last weekend at the Southern Scuffle. You guys travel to Ithaca, New York to take on Cornell in a big duel. Depending on which ranking you look at, we'll go 4 and 5 in the rankings. So not only does this have team implications, but it also has implications for you guys as 125-pounders. So your mindset, I'm guessing, is going to be the same thing going into this duel as it was the Southern Scuffle. Or is there anything that you're going to change?
No, just same thing. Just getting after it this year, I'm more focused on the national tournament than I am this throughout the whole season. So, but this is big for our team. I think getting this win, we're undefeated so far in our duels, so it'd be a big win for us. Just gonna go in and try to do the same thing I did the last time.
Yeah,
maybe expand, maybe try to get a couple turns in there or something, and score a little more points.
And would you say that's your toughest position is on top?
Yeah, I'd say anywhere on the mat.
I agree. At watching you, I've been following you for years. So if someone was to ask me, where do you win your national title, I would say it's on the mat, basically in the top position. But you touched briefly on you guys being undefeated as a team. One of those duels that you had, and I'm sure that this is going to go down as one of the best duels of the year, and maybe for your career that you had a chance to be a part of, and that was the Ohio State-Missouri duel. How exciting was that to be a part of?
It was really exciting. It was the whole duel was just roller coaster. There was ups and downs, and then we had really close towards the end. So that made it a lot more exciting for both teams.
Absolutely. For those that don't know, I believe the score was 19-19 after Jaden Cox bumped up, returning NCAA champion, bumps up to heavyweight and ends up getting the win, and nobody knows what's going on. With criteria, it's so iffy with the criteria. Did you guys as a team know what exactly was going on during that whole situation before? Excuse me, go ahead.
We kind of knew what was going on. I don't know. I think our coaches knew that Jaden had to get, because towards the end of the match he had to hold the guy down and not let him get an escape. So then, because if they had that extra point, then they would have won the duel. They would, because the criteria would have went down to the points. So he had to hold the guy down for the last 30, 45 seconds or.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know I took some heat on Twitter because Ohio State, I'm sure you don't even know this. Ohio State tweeted right after the Cox match that they won on criteria. But then Missouri tweeted that they won on criteria. So I retweeted the Ohio State one because that was the first one I saw. Then I started getting heat. You need to be, your profession is to get stuff right, not to be the first one to do it. So I was kind of mad that you guys let it come down to that. But that's all right. We'll just skip that. NCAA championships this year in St. Louis, Missouri. Have you ever been to the NCAA championships to watch while they were in St. Louis?
Yeah, I've been. Before I was in college, I went and watched the Askrens and some of them, and I wrestled. I think we wrestled in St. Louis my sophomore year.
Yeah, I believe so. Watching it in St. Louis is amazing. I know I went with, I don't know if you know Troy Dolan. He was a 133-pounder at Mizzou. I went with his dad to watch the NCAAs while they were in St. Louis, and that was the year that Ben won. It was the first year he won it, so that was pretty interesting. How far is Columbia from St. Louis?
It's about an hour 45, 2-hour drive.
That's amazing. So you guys, we mentioned it. I mentioned it earlier. If you guys are looking for a national title, you guys are going to have to. A couple weights are going to have to step up. And I'm sure you included are going to have to step up to the NCAA tournaments. What would you say to your critics that have said, you've had great regular seasons, and then when you get to the postseason, just and when I say you great, I mean I'm sure you're not just looking to All-American. You're looking to win a national title this year. So what would you say to those critics that say, he kind of slumps later on in the season?
I mean, I would agree that's how it was my freshman and sophomore year. Even my junior year, ended up getting fourth as the number 1 seed. I mean, I've never ended at my seed that I was supposed to place, but that's why I'm changing it a lot this year. I'm not focusing as much on the actual season as I am nationals. I'm still taking every match one match at a time, trying to, competing and getting those wins, scoring points. But I'm using that as kind of to build me up to nationals, so I can peak at nationals, and more like putting in the work in my matches.
Okay. And one thing I wanted to ask you, last year you're coming off a redshirt year. So what was the reasoning behind that? Was it you guys knew that you're coming into St. Louis, going to be searching for an NCAA title? I'm sure nobody really expected Jaden Cox to go out there besides Jaden Cox. I would say you guys for Jaden Cox to win an NCAA title, but he does that. So he's a returning NCAA champion. So did you guys plan down the road that this could potentially be a better team than it was last year, or was this strictly just for you to get better in certain situations?
I'd say a little bit of both. I think me taking a red shirt, I hadn't taken it my freshman year, so I still had that opportunity. So I just decided that was something I wanted to do, get that extra year in. And I don't think the main focus was the team, because we had a tough team last year as well. But I think it is going to help us out a lot this year, because we got a lot of tough guys on our team this year.
Right. And is it Levon or Le'Veon Mays?
It's Levon.
Levon. Okay. Yeah, I always wonder. It looks like Le'Veon, but you always want to ask, where did he come from?
He's tough. He's done well the past couple of years. But him going out and winning the Southern Scuffle, I think that's really big for him. I think
Absolutely.
it's a really big accomplishment. It just shows that he can compete with those guys, and he's got a chance to All-American as well.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to win the scuffle, but yeah, he's coming on. So you guys, you're just stacked. I don't want to keep you too long. So let's just right now, what we like to do with all of our guests on the show is just throw a couple questions at them. Some wrestling related, some not wrestling related. One question I always ask is, if you were to have an opportunity to go anywhere in the country to school, take away wrestling, take away all athletics, you just go where you want to go, where would that be?
I'd like to go somewhere probably on the coast, maybe probably on the East Coast,
East Coast, okay, interesting.
around North Carolina area.
All right. Are you a basketball fan at all? North Carolina, UNC?
No, not really a big basketball guy.
All right. And let's topic of everyone's life, food. What is your go-to meal after weigh-ins or after you just have, a couple weeks off? Where's the first place you're going?
Well, if I'm in season, I'd say I like lasagna and pasta and stuff like that, but I'd have to say my favorite place is Chipotle.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Do you guys have pancheros out there?
Yeah, we got a Pancheros too.
Okay. Yeah, that's the debate. So you go Chipotle over pancheros?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you just said when you're in season. What about when you're out of season? Say, let's stick with St. Louis. After you win your NCAA title, where are you going to eat?
Probably Chipotle.
All right. Well,
I've been waiting all season for it, so.
All right, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, get 2 burritos, or the El Gordo, the super one.
Yeah.
All right, well, we want to thank you for being on the show. We don't want to keep you too much longer. Tell our viewers where they can follow you on social media.
On Twitter, AW1 is my name, and I think it's the same on Instagram as well, and then Facebook, just Alan Waters.
Okay, perfect. That's been it for this episode of the Associated Wrestling Press's College Wrestling View. I want to give a shout out to DirtyStyleWrestling.com for the sweatshirt. Thank you guys very much. Make sure you go visit them at DirtyStyleWrestling.com. Thank you, Alan Waters. And we here at the Associated Wrestling Press wish you the best of luck. If there's anything we can help you out with, shoot us an email. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.